What's up, everybody? Hello. We are live. I hope everyone's joining us. I should see the numbers start climbing because everybody loves to drink on a Friday night, and this is the Skeptical Help Bar. So the bar is open, and tonight is going to be a little bit different than what I normally do. Normally, I sit here and I take your questions, your paranormal related questions, and I give you my opinion, whether you like it or not. I just throw it out there and I drink a lot. I got my tea here. But even though we're starting late, an idea came up and two people actually sent me messages about a topic. And basically, I'll get into the topic for a second. In a second, I'm going to give you the rules first. Rule number one for this show is we take paranormal related questions, and in return, I give you a skeptical opinion. Rule number two, which complements that first rule, is that I don't know everything. So sometimes I have to look shit up. Sometimes we learn things together. And, even though I don't know everything, I usually have an opinion. So I'll give it to you freely. And the third rule is that this is mostly for fun. And I say mostly this time because sometimes topics, like probably tonight's topic, is going to get a little serious and a little intense. But bottom line is this is for fun. It's more of a distraction from the normal life. And don't be a dick. We're not going to try and fight with people. That's why I don't have guests that have completely opposite opinions where we would just clash. That's why I don't do that. But saying that, or actually the phrase is that said, I have two guests with me, and I'm going to bring them on right now, and we're going to talk about a topic. So let me see. Boom. Look at that. I'm going to take this away for a second and say that we have Alex and we have Ted. First, Alex, you're a paranormal investigator, right?
Mm-hmm, I am.
We've had the pleasure of meeting at least once.
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah. When I came down, we hung out for a little bit. Yeah, and I actually attended one of your meetings, which was fun. That was cool.
Yeah.
But you're down in North Carolina, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then we have Ted, who is the guy that runs the WLFE-DB network. So I'm not having him on because he's kind of like my boss on this. I'm having him on because these two people actually sent me messages about the topic we're going to talk about tonight. And I decided, instead of just everybody hearing my opinion, which is like, who wants to hear me for 2 hours? I'd have two other people that have opinions on this topic. So I'm going to stop rambling and just say the topic tonight is about paranormal groups that charge money for investigating your private home or business. I think it's more private homes that they come up with. And I say this because, let's see, I'm going to try and share this screen so people can see this and understand what we're talking about. So this post came up, and I know it's a little distorted, but this post came up tonight. This is from somebody on Facebook, and I don't have the name up here, but it says, we live in Astoria, Oregon, right? Oregon, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and due to COVID, if you need our help in the paranormal field, it's a $50 fee, folks. I mean, aside from the grammar, and you know what? If you're going to do something like this bold and put it on social media, fucking get your grammar right. Okay? Let me just put that out there right away. So I'm gonna shrink that back down and just come to us. And so I guess the topic tonight is, what do you guys think about these teams that charge money for investigating private homes? And in particular, I guess we really should stress that this message in particular says, due to COVID. So they're talking about now that, there you go, due to this pandemic that's affecting the entire frickin' planet, they're now going to charge you $50 to investigate your home. So, ladies first, Alex, what's your opinion on this?
Yeah, I think the big thing that got me was due to COVID, and I'm like, why? Like, what is it about COVID that you're charging money for? Like, did you normally not charge? And it's like, is it hazard pay? Like,
Yeah,
I don't get it. Like, are you going to be wearing masks, like the N95 masks? Are you going to be like bringing in like a blowtorch of sanitizer and cleaning the house like as well? I mean, is this for supplies? Is it what exactly is the $50 for? I mean,
exactly. What's going on here? Like, why charge? Because there's a pandemic going on, and I don't know what the rules are in that state, but most of us are in quarantine. You know, we're supposed to stay at home. So is this $50 to cover like if you get ticketed because you're
man,
outside doing
get a
stupid
fine.
shit? Ted, what do you think?
Well, I had mixed feelings when I saw it. All right. Are you having a hard time hearing me?
You're a little low, but go ahead.
All right. Well, anyways,
That's
I had mixed feelings when I saw it. I wasn't sure what to say because a lot of us that have been in the field for a long time, I mean, right from the beginning, nobody ever charged, and the ones that did charge got a lot of harassment for it, and you get called out, and there was a lot of shit that flew. And I mean, I'm not a 10-year or a 20-year investigator. I'm 34 years. I've been in this for a long time. So, with that being said, I was kind of joking around a little bit, and I said, I go, so now we're charging? What's up?
right.
And it actually came back. My friend Nick, who was pretty cool, he was actually explaining to me that it came from another page, and he was being sarcastic. And I'm like, well, that's cool. Let's talk about it. And so that's why I reached out to you. I said, damn, I said, this is something that, in fact, I said right to you, I said, the nest is buzzing because
Mhm.
people are out there saying a lot of stuff. And it's like, if you want to stir the beehive, then put something like this out there because this is definitely going to stir the beehive.
Right.
Yeah.
My opinion is that unless you have some valid reason for charging somebody $50, whether it be, I don't know, yeah, you have to fly there and that's going to help with your expenses. There's something else like the N95. I mean, there's some special reason why you need the $50. I mean, a lot of us do it because we love the paranormal. We do it because we're there to help. We want to help these people.
Right.
Thanks, Robert. That's awesome.
That was
But
good, Rob.
it's one of those things. I mean, I can see both sides of the coin, but at the same time, it's like, come on, guys, we've been doing this for so long, and
We've evolved out of this.
yeah, I
Yeah.
What do you
mean,
think?
Say that again,
there's.
Alex.
She said we.
Me?
She said we evolved out of this.
Oh, okay. Okay. Evolved. What do you mean evolved?
Well, I think in the earlier days of ghost hunting, and this is when I started my team, which is 2011, so it's still my team's still fairly young compared to others, but there were a few teams that would charge, but because of you would think with the backlash and just the ethics behind charging, it's gross, and people acknowledge that it's gross, and I feel like people who have been in this long enough, like we know better. Like we absolutely know better. And you do this because, as Ted said, you do it because you love it and you do it because you want to help people. And
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, if there was somebody in Oklahoma that had to have me come in, then I'd be like, okay, well, we might need to help out with travel expenses here, but
I mean, I don't
no.
think I don't think there's a problem with saying, "Hey, I've got a 5-hour drive. Is there any way you can pop me some money for gas?"
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
If they can't, then I understand. But that shouldn't stop you from going because they said, "Oh, I can't afford it." I've done family investigations and residentials where they've had nothing. They were poor and they just needed help. I never charged them. I drove 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
It's not about, for me, that's not about, I mean, I'm sure that you have too, Alex. I mean,
Mhm.
you get an
Yep.
investigation and somebody says, we can't pay you, but here's a pizza.
Yep.
You know?
We've gotten paid with food, with pizza, coffee, donuts the next morning.
Yeah. And some
You
people
know,
might say, hey, well, I can't, I didn't get you any food, but here's $20.
mhm.
Well, if they're volunteering it, fine, but I'm not going to charge them.
I agree there with Bob. If you're
Yes.
going to charge a fee, you have to disclose what you're charging for, what you're going to get. And
I
I'm
think
gonna
Alex and
jump
Both
in
and I
here.
said that.
I'm
We
going to
want to know
jump in
why.
and give my opinion. My initial opinion is basically and Ted, we talked earlier a little bit. We touched on this a little bit. Like I can argue a little bit the other side. So if there is an organization or something that wants to have a group out, and they reach out to the group and say, "Hey, come on out here," then I have no problem with the group saying, "Hey, you know what? You want us to come out here? It's this much for gas money. If we have to stay overnight, you need to provide a hotel room and then food." I don't see any problem with that if it's the organization that is reaching out to some kind of group. And I do the same thing when I'm approached for like lectures. If somebody asks me to do a lecture and it's way out of state, I say, look, I don't charge a fee to lecture, but you got to cover my gas. If I have to stay overnight, you got to cover that, and then you got to cover a meal or two because I'm not doing this for free. This is not going to cost me money to come out. However, with that said, on the other side, and this is going to be the harsh skeptic part. This is a ghost hunting team. I don't know anything about them. I haven't looked into them too much. But if I'm going to base it, and this might be a bias, if I'm going to base it on the typical ghost hunting teams that I usually come across, there is no fucking justification for a $50 charge for what? There's no indication of what they're doing, what they're providing, if they have any actual expertise in the areas that are needed, that are necessary in order to investigate a claim, not just sit there in the dark and talk to their little gadgets that light up. I know that sounds harsh, but that's the reality of it. What the fuck are you doing, Ted?
Having a drink.
Okay, that's okay.
I thought that was something I could do on this show.
You can.
Well, then bite me.
All right,
I didn't know it was that kind of show.
Where's his ejection button? There it is.
Like an ejection seat. Boom.
Don't make me mute you, bitch. I got the power tonight.
Yeah, I know. But ultimately, I have the bigger power, so.
That's what she said, or he said, depending on your. All
right, go ahead. I got you.
So, basically, yeah, for a skeptic like myself, my first question is, what are you charging this for? What's the fee for? And why now?
Yeah.
Why now? Because of this disease that's going around, this virus that's going around, that's making it harder for everyone else. That so many people, our unemployment rate is way up. So many people are losing jobs. So many people are saving money because they're afraid to lose their job. Mm-hmm. And you're going to charge $50 for what?
Mm-hmm.
For what? What are you offering? And Ted had actually suggested earlier that I have them on my show, and that's why I modified the rules a little bit this time, because I don't think that would be good.
Yeah,
I don't think that would be.
And I agree. I mean, I don't know. When stuff like this pops up, it's like I have mixed feelings about certain things. But when I first started out in the field, man, there was a lot of people that wanted to charge. Eric. I mean, There was a lot of people that wanted to charge, but ultimately, I think it was like 2000, 2002, around when Ghost Hunters came out, they made the bold statement on TV and said, if you're a paranormal or ghost hunting team, you never charge. And that's where it came out to where it was more visual, and more, prompted to the masses was the television show Ghost Hunters, when it came out. Because everybody was watching it when it first came out. And that just sort of went like a wave through the, paranormal community. But I still stand where I stood before. It's like, I do this for my own knowledge. I don't do this for any other reason. And I'm going to charge somebody for me learning. No. So I just won't do it.
Another part of this, and this is from the person that posted this first is Tiffany Loveland. Mm-hmm. And I don't know who she is. This is the first time I think I've had any kind of interaction. Well, not really interaction because I can't comment on their page.
Right.
So I don't know if they already know me. and
Right.
it's like a
They will soon.
They will soon because I'm going to reach out to them.
Give it a little bit.
But she makes a statement saying that I guess somebody put like an angry emoji on it, and she's explaining that first and foremost we do a sweep before we investigate. The fee is to cover. Oh my God, this grammar. The fee is to cover during this time. Some people need help with paranormal issues, and second, we have extensive letters from clients saying that when we go and help them out, all spirits have left home after we have visited. Oh my God, fucking, get your grammar right.
So they went through. So what I'm guessing from this then is they went through and they cleansed the house.
No. What I'm getting from this statement, and I don't know if you can read it. I'll put it back up.
No, we can't.
I read it earlier and I couldn't decipher it. And I'm sober, so that says a lot.
I'm gonna try.
Okay, now, yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Okay.
So that's right here. It starts, and it says, what I get from this is that they go in and they do some kind of sweep. I don't know what the sweep is, but they do a sweep before they investigate, and the fee is to cover, I guess, this time.
Is it covering supplies? I mean, you can get a bundle of sage for like $3.
Well, it says the fee is to cover during this time. So
during the
that's my impression is that they're saying we're going to charge $50 because we have to come in and do a sweep before we investigate.
But if you go down further, if you go down further to that, what we do a lot of paranormal. You know, they where the hell paranormal groups can't do what we do by getting spirits to cross over. Every case we have done has had most of the spirit. So basically, that's what I thought it was. Is I think they're doing a sweep and they're trying to cross things over before their investigation. That's what I'm taking from that.
Isn't that backwards?
Yes. Why would you do
and
that?
I want to know. It says we are a licensed paranormal team.
That's where I was getting at.
Yeah, I think it's a business license, which anybody can get.
Well, yeah, okay, so yeah. I mean, Genesee Valley Paranormal Investigators, which is my group up here for God knows how long now, we have our own tax number. It's registered as a business, but nonprofit. So, yeah.
Right. And I think that's what it comes down to, because she does argue. There's somebody, Kyle, that's arguing with her. Like, he's like licensed, like post a license. And she won't. And as we get down, it looks like it is a business license. So, yes, exactly. As you guys said, and Alex, I think you mentioned it. You can get a business license. That's no big deal.
Yeah.
Right.
But this is not a license to investigate paranormal claims.
No, it's just a business license.
No such thing.
Yeah. Which, if you have a business license and hopefully you have some insurance and some coverage, which still, what's the $50 for? But why would you? Why would you open a business and not charge for something at the same time? I guess they're trying to make money out of this.
And they're probably trying to cover some of their expenses of everything that they do, and I get that. I mean, and I'm not putting anybody down because I have heard of teams over the years that have charged like hundreds of dollars, and who am I? Who am I? Who am I to tell them? Who am I to tell them it's wrong? Who am I to tell them that they can't do it?
I'm bothered by this because they're saying that they're charging a fee now.
Right.
So apparently they didn't
COVID.
before.
They didn't. Right. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. They didn't do it before, but now because there's a pandemic and maybe
is it a risk fee?
I think it's I'm not making money anymore, and I need to get it from other people.
Yeah,
that's what I see. Maybe, and I'm not. I want to be careful with this part, but maybe they have lost income. Maybe they lost a job or something like that, which is terrible. I mean, it's terrible for anybody.
That's yeah.
But
I did. I lost. So
it's a horrible thing that happened. But their action plan to compensate that, I think, is dumb. It's unethical. I think it's unprofessional because it's now they're trying to charge money for something that they were already doing for free, and they probably don't know what they're doing anyway. And again, that's speculation on my part. I want to make that clear.
Right.
Because I don't know these people. I don't know what they do or how they do it, but based on the grammar and the little bit that I've seen so far, I don't think they're any kind of like real good, legitimate investigative group. It looks like just, your run-of-the-mill TV style ghost hunting team that is trying to make money now off the same shit they did before.
Right. I got so many things running through my head with this, and I look at this like, because I've been doing it so long, I look at it as I can't control what other teams do. I would love to see something in the future to where we have some standards, but ultimately I've never charged, and I don't think I ever would. If somebody says, hey, I appreciate you coming on, I'm going to give you, $20, $25, this is for you driving or something like that, I can see it. If you're nonprofit, that's a whole nother ballpark with that. There's just a lot of things that, does it make me uncomfortable that they're charging $50? I'm not going to lie. Yes, it does. I want to know why they're charging $50. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what all of us are saying. We just want to know why.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot of hate out there in this field or this community anyways. And, you post something like that, you got to expect something back. That's what I said in the beginning, and that's what I'm going to say now.
Okay. I really think, and I mean, either of you jump in, but I really think it comes down to you can't charge. Again, like in the beginning, I mentioned if somebody reaches out to you and you want to, compensate or cover your expenses, I think that's fine. And even if you want to charge a fee, if somebody's approaching you, that's your choice. This is supply and demand. This is how our country works and how the world works. That's up to you. But when you put out an advertisement or a statement, even just saying, I'm going to charge for this. And it really goes back to, what are we charging for? Are you qualified to do any of the shit that you say you can do or claim that you can do? Like, again, I don't know. I can't. Can I?
Well, the thing is, it's not just on them, because there's other people out there that we know that are doing this.
Right.
I mean, I know other people that are doing this and charging, like I said earlier, charging $200, $250. And, my issue is the same as what I've said before. And I agree with you, Kenny. If you know what you're doing, if you know your tools, if you know how things work, if you're following this like from the letter,
right.
I mean, I guess I'm okay with it, but still at the same time, I wouldn't pay somebody $250. I just wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
If they're coming from, say, Indiana or Oregon, like where they're from, and they need $50, and they're coming to my house, I probably would, because they're coming from such a long distance. I might even feed them and put them up, but it's just not something I think you can honestly charge without having complete knowledge of what a ghost is, what it's made of. Do they really exist? Is this a legit thing? I mean, there's just so many things you have to think about, because we don't know. We don't even know if they truly exist. We just don't.
Right.
Well, and someone was. Oh, go ahead, Kay.
I'm looking up their Facebook page, so I did find them.
Okay.
And it's
yeah.
And I don't want to say that I'm putting them down or beating them or bashing them. I'm not. I'm trying to figure out why they're charging.
Right.
Well, it can't be a guarantee of getting rid of the ghost, and that's what the one comment was concerning for me. It's like, oh, we do a sweep, and we have letters from clients saying we got rid of the ghosts, and that's where you get into dangerous waters from a legal standpoint. Because how do you prove that the ghost is gone, but how do you prove that the ghost was there, and how do you prove that services were rendered?
Especially if something bad happens after you leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times Yeah, how many times have we heard horror stories that somebody that goes into a house and they stir something up and nobody knows what it is, and then, you know, shit's still there, you know,
I've
and
had
it,
to, I've had to do that a few times with my team, just clean up messes. It's not fun.
yeah.
So I
So
did find their Facebook page, and the description on here, the short description of their about section says, "We are a strong group of 4. Everyone does paranormal research, investigations. We are here to help anyone in need. If you hear voices, noises, lights on and off, doors open and close by themselves, shadow people, full body apparitions, and you want to answer." That's it. That's their that, and I'm not lying. I'm going to show you because I want everyone to see this is what the kind of shit that you're going to deal with here. So let's see, Eastern Facebook. There we go. Make sure I get this right. So there you go.
Okay. What's the image? What's the profile? 20 people like the page. Great.
That's the profile, and then this is their about section.
So they don't even have their own website. It's the Paranormal Society's made big list.
The list.
Yeah, it's the list, not their website.
So right off the bat, that's telling me this is a group of either friends or it's a family, like a husband, wife kind of thing with like maybe the kids or brother, sister, and they just started a team and they're looking to
and it could be, but I'm gonna approach this from a different direction here, because Kenny, you and I have been friends for a little while, and you know how I talk and how I think about
here
things. Oh God. I've written a couple books, but I write my books coming from very layman side, very easy to read, because there's a lot of people out there that aren't like technically really educated, or they don't understand certain things. I'm not saying these people are, but I like to put it so it's very easy, very simple to understand. And one, because I'm one of those people. When you have things like dyslexia, ADD, ADHD, if you have stuff that limits you on how you take things in, the simpler the better. Okay. And you know, that's how I write, that's how I approach my investigations, that's how I do my record keeping and everything else. And I'm kind of like the person standing out front saying, you know, you can still do this as someone that has these, let's say, quote unquote, disabilities. You can do it, even though it's tougher for you and it has to be really simple and plain. I get it. So, you know, even if they were those type of people, I would say, hey, you know, find somebody that could help you with certain things, because, you know, you don't, I don't know. I'm struggling with this a little bit, to be honest. You know, I just know how I am and what I've done over the years, and it's got to be simple. It's got to be easy, because there are people out there that have experiences that can't explain it because they don't know how, or because they have a disability to where they don't want to look like an idiot. And unfortunately, because of the things that we have, like that I have, where I can't explain things, I do come across as an idiot sometimes, but that's a learning thing with me. You know, so, it's just the way I am.
If I think I'm getting what you're saying, I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. And what I'll say to that is that at least that you reach out to other people. You reach out and look for other avenues, expertise from other people to help you understand things. And you've done that with me.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that if you don't know, you have to reach out to somebody else. Right. And like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. It doesn't mean I have all the answers. The first thing is you have to realize that when you're in something like this field or this community, you have to understand that you're learning every single time you go out and you do these investigations. If you think you know it all, you're going to get freaking...
Not everyone learns every time they go.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is that should be like, you know what I'm saying? That's... Yeah.
With this, what we're looking at right here, on this side here, what we're looking at here is a group of people that got together and think that they can, like, that's my impression. They're not looking for help. they've already established themselves
Right.
as experts
Right.
that can charge money for something that I don't think they can do. I'm looking through their site. I don't see anything that tells me anything about them. And it was,
Right.
as Alex pointed out, like their website that's listed here is it's a list. It's a
Yeah.
list of paranormal teams. It's
Yeah.
not their own website.
Yeah.
They're,
Most of us are on that.
Yeah, most of
I'm
us
not.
are.
I'm not on there. But
Yeah.
I mean, and this, what's on screen right now, this is interesting to me because now it says that they're now filming in different locations.
What are they
So-
filming?
Yeah,
What
where
are they
does it-
filming? Like, what's
Where does that say that?
it's right here?
It's on their
Can you see it?
Facebook page.
Oh.
Can you see the big screen?
Yeah,
Look.
but
It says my paranormal team is now
Yeah.
now filming
It's not
in-
Yeah. I wasn't paying attention to that thing.
So now what are they filming? What are they filming for?
Is
Are they
it a
looking to
TV
be on
show?
TV?
Is it?
Yeah.
But see, this is also an alarming part for me. If they're filming, that also kind of sounds the alarm of TV chasers, which that gives
Wow.
me.
And I don't like this too. I don't know if again
Oh my gosh, no!
yeah, so this is an issue where they actually just
Oh.
told you the family name.
Oh no!
Yeah, you
And
can't do that.
That's
Oh,
a bad
no,
thing
no,
with me. I mean, I
no.
don't
That legally right there says that these people can reach out and just sue the shit out of them.
Yep.
I mean, you're putting it out there and telling everyone this is the family that we're trying. And I mean,
Unless they have a signed paper saying that they can do it.
Nope.
oh
Still.
my goodness. This is getting worse and worse. And for the podcast listeners, I'm going to read it out. This team has a post that says, doing an investigation in an hour, trying to reach the blank blank family of Astoria, Oregon. Wish us luck. So I'm not going to say the last name because
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that's viewing it can see it. But
The other thing I'm looking at is when the page was created. This is almost 3 years old.
Yeah.
3 years old, and they only have 20 people following. They have not. I'm not trying to say that popularity is a thing, but it's showing that they don't have experience. They don't have, I guess, the experience to generate a following that would make anyone notice. And
Yeah.
this, I mean, between the filming, between charging money for something that they already did for free that they're not charging when people really shouldn't be spending money.
Right.
They're putting out last names of families that they're doing private investigations for. I'm almost scared to keep going to scroll down their site because I don't know what I'm going to find. Oh, here we are. We are now the first paranormal group in the state of Washington to be licensed with a registered trademark name, Eastern Vancouver Paranormal Society, LLC. We will be getting bonded and insured as well.
Okay.
What are the comments? Except us. One of the comments from the founder says that is what a business license place told us. Maybe they didn't know because, oh, it's a business license. See, even their responses don't make sense.
Yeah.
So I guess the main issue here is that this appears to be, and based on the evidence in front of us that we've been showing on screen and trying to read off to everyone, based on the evidence here, this is just a group of people that came together. You can barely consider them hobbyists, and they are charging people money or trying to charge money. I don't think they're going to get anything. I honestly don't. But they are charging money in order to come out and perform some kind of service. We're not really sure what the service is because they don't describe it. They don't explain that. And that's it. That's where we're at.
Well, I can tell you that I'm starting to feel for them, to be honest with you, because they really are getting a lot of hate right now, and I get it. But there's a lot of other things that legally could happen to them that they need to step back and look at what they're doing and have somebody help them. I don't know.
I agree. to a point. You're supposed to do that before
I agree.
you make public
But
statements like that.
but they're already in the, let's just say that they're already in the mud, so it's like, if they're going to continue on with this, they're going to need some guidance. They're going to need somebody to help them get them out of that mud. To be honest with you, if this is something they truly have a passion for, that's awesome. I love it. I support them for it. And I'm going to say this again. And one of the reasons is because of the network. We're not here bashing. We are not. We are not. Period. We're not making fun of you. We're not bashing you. We're just saying, coming from my standpoint, and I'm going to say coming from the network standpoint, is we're concerned for you guys. And that's the way I'm going to put it. It's not we're bashing or anything, but we're concerned.
I mean, yeah, we're critiquing. This is called criticism. And yeah, I know, like Chanel says that we are bashing them without knowing more. And I see it more as criticism. This is harsh criticism. This is what happens. When you put stuff out there publicly, expect criticism from both sides. You can have,
especially social media. It's rampant. I mean, and it's already. I mean, there's been so many battles in court already saying, "Hey, you post something on your page and somebody else gets it. What do you want me to do about it?"
Right.
Yep.
And
I post to public.
That's right. Why I keep reaffirming that yes, we don't know these people, and we're looking more into it. And based on what we find, that's my conclusions that are.
And I'm going to say to Chanel that if these people want to come and say something, if Kenny doesn't want them on his show, I'll bring them on my own, and I'll sit and listen to what they have to say. I would extend that to them, just because of where I do sit, is that there are some things that are going to make other people uncomfortable. And hell, let's be real here. In the paranormal community, there's already a lot of bashing, there's a lot of shit, a lot of backstabbing, a lot of that crap going on. And the more that you put yourself in that little corner by yourself, the more it's going to hurt. And you really need to have friends. You need to have people that you can, ask questions to, reach out to, have somebody to help guide you, as well as you guiding them. I mean, the information is important, period.
And I want to touch on what you said. Wow, I want to phrase it right. If they need help doing something, yes, I'm all for helping them. But the idea of, like you mentioned, like I don't want them on my show, and that's correct. I don't.
Right.
And the reason behind that is because I don't think, based on what I see, and I'm going to reach out to them anyway. I'm going to reach out and talk to them, ask them like what their background is. But I think if I brought them on, it would look like a witch hunt no matter what I did.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It probably would.
I don't win in this situation because, I mean, it might look like the people that really know me, they're like, oh, he's just asking questions. I really am asking questions. I want to know what your qualifications are. But to anyone that's friends with them or a lot of the paranormal community that maybe won't get along with the skeptical attitude, it's going to be a witch hunt. And it's going to look like that. That's why I don't want to have them on here, because I'm going to ask hard questions. And often when I do have conversations like that, the conversation ends quickly.
I know.
And I don't want to be 5 minutes into a show and like, click, they hang out. They hung up because they're like, I'm not answering your question. You make me look stupid. Right. And it's not me that makes people look stupid. Them. Yeah.
And I don't I don't think that is what we're saying here either.
Right.
We're not. We're just, like, I'm coming from the point that I'm concerned. I mean, that's it. Yeah. I just, a lot of us put a lot into being the truest investigator we can. Some of us are learning every single day new techniques and talking with skeptics and trying to figure out what we can do to be better. And, and all that says in short is we're trying harder to get further in something that we're not even sure truly exists, but we're trying, and I don't want us to think that we're just bashing, because it's not that way.
And I like this comment. They may truly not know they are having a potential future problem in the making. Yes, very concerned for them. And I agree. And then the more I think about it, the more I'm looking at the comments and letting it settle in. Yes, people do say stupid shit. I say stupid shit.
Yeah.
And
I never do.
Fuck you. I think I'm going to say this. The one of the most important lessons that I've learned over the years is that sometimes it's better to hit the delete button than the send button.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. And it's really because I've typed out stuff. I've done the knee jerk reaction where I typed out fucking paragraphs and like, oh, I'm gonna school this motherfucker. And then by the time I get to the end of it, I'm breathing calmer. I'm like, no, you know what? This is just it's gonna make me look like that guy.
I did one of those today.
I'm sure you did.
Yes, I did. I'm an emotional person. The empathy is just
Really?
It runs ragged in me. So, yeah. So somebody pisses me off, I tend to open my mouth first.
And I like that the comments are coming in and there's a good discussion going on in the chat room. I mean, there's a good discussion. It's back and forth, and it's a lot about concern, but also people don't like what they're seeing. So people like that are putting families at risk of losing jobs or friends and et cetera,
Yeah.
by putting their names and stuff out there. I agree. I mean, there was one, let me see, where there was something about the names that maybe the family gave permission. I don't know where.
Yeah,
I
people reach out. In most cases, they say, "Is this going to be anonymous, or is this going to be where people aren't going to know? Because I don't want my neighbors knowing." Or
I'm covering you up, Ted. You're getting covered there. The post about now filming, followed by giving out the name and location of the family, seems like they are trying to generate more interest. Let's assume the family gave permission to have their name and location made public. If not, they should be held accountable. I agree, Dan.
Even on a public format, though, like on TV shows, they still just use first names. They don't do last names.
I think
in a lot of cases.
Yeah,
that's why the phone numbers are
up there.
58 or 555-555-555.
I mean, I if you're going to assume that the family gave permission, then well, no, I can't.
No.
You make assumptions like that. I would rather make assumptions towards a more professional, confidential approach. I don't want to assume. I mean, we can assume that the family said, "I don't care," whatever. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that because
but if they didn't, that family can come back on them, and that's what I said earlier,
Yeah.
and that's something you don't want.
And then you get into potential liability because if you just put it out there, and this is something I've said this like 100 times. I'm surprised this hasn't happened yet. I'm going to uncover your face there, Ted.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you.
I'm surprised that people haven't gotten sued yet. I'm surprised ghost hunting teams haven't gotten sued because of putting out certain things.
They might have, and we don't know. I mean,
I think Paranormal Societies, I think, actually had an article about that, about liabilities, and mentioned a few court cases. But even so, just when you go into this, like Ted said, we go into this because we love it and we want to help people. I have never asked a client if we could use their name in public. I have never said, "Hey, can we give you a shout out on our Facebook page?" So that alone, I don't know, like you would have to ask unless the family said, "Oh yeah, make sure you use our name on social media." I mean, that feels gross. Like to say, "Hey, I know you're going through this really difficult time in your life. Can we mention you on your Facebook page?" I just can't imagine that conversation really realistically happening. So,
kitty.
Bob said, I think y'all are doing I think y'all are doing everyone a service by pointing out that the money needs to be itemized. Some people don't ask questions and just pay. It's better to protect the customer, in my opinion. I agree. You should know exactly what you're paying for. In this case, and this isn't the first time.
It's not different. It's not different, Kenny. If you're going to Walmart or a restaurant, you want to know what you're paying for.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or you call a plumber, or you call an electrician, or you call anyone that comes
plumbers,
out.
They're idiots.
Well, are you a plumber?
I'm just hoping Alex isn't.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. If you're paying for a service or a product, you want to know what that is, and you want to have some kind of guarantee. kind of understanding like this is going to work, and you know what are the results, and I want to point out this isn't the first time somebody's done this. This isn't the only group that has done this. This topic has come up before several times.
Right. Yeah,
and
they're
I
not
think
special.
I've addressed
It's happened a lot.
yeah, and it's not just them. There's a bunch of people, and it comes up because it's a very hot topic. It's a very hotly debated topic.
It's probably the hottest topic in the community because every time that comes on, there's hundreds of comments immediately. It's like seconds. It's not.
It's literally seconds.
Yeah. So
like the paranormal community just lights up in flames. Like,
yeah. Well,
or the fires.
That's when I texted him. I said, they're buzzing.
Is this the Nick that reposted the joke?
This is the Nick that follows me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the Nick that follows Talk with Teddy.
The only thing I would, oh, Nick must be drinking. Nick's drinking. The only thing I would ever get close to pay, I would ever get is from those who thank us for being able to help them out when they're unable to take care of it themselves. I don't know what that means, but okay, Nick. Wait, he's got another one.
Rewrite it.
The closest I could ever get close. I'm happy he wrote. The closest I could ever get close to pay is a simple thank you to those who help, those we help out when they're in a situation where they can't explain it and don't have any control over it. Nothing else. Oh, that was better than the first one. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate the clarification. And you know what? I've been in that boat too. Like years ago, I think people know this. I was a ghost hunter, and we used to show up once in a while. Really, I was. And once in a while, we get pizza. We never asked for anything. We never asked for money or compensation because, I mean, the idea was like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. You know, we don't. We're here to take some pictures and take some recordings and see what happens. You know, it was exciting for us because I was like, oh, you know, we might get something. And then, then I went all skeptical and shit. Now I don't believe nothing.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So now we just say Kenny's an asshole and he knows it.
Well, yeah. Chanel says, my money is they have watched too many episodes of Ghost Hunting Adventures and are taking a page out of Zach Baggy Boy handbook. Oh, my God. That means
you had to put the word book in there, didn't you?
Oh, my God. Handbook.
Yeah, we're not going into there.
Agreed. I don't know what Nick's agreeing to, but drink up.
I think they made a mistake. I really do, and I think they're paying for it by all these people making these comments. And I really think that if somebody did reach out to them and try to figure out and explain what why they're getting all this, because maybe they don't know why. I mean, that's possible too. I mean, I did see some of the posts on there saying, hey, nobody charges, blah, 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 blah. But, let's, I don't know. I don't even know if they would actually reach out. Yeah, so I just got a message about.
So, all right. So I'm looking at another post from them. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to show you guys. So this was September 21st of 2018. The big investigation is tomorrow evening. Still wondering who would like to be in TV with us. It's being filmed tomorrow evening. If you want to come, please let us know. Cost is $50 and a 5.5-hour drive.
Which was 2 years ago.
Yes.
What's the location? And is that the $50 like to cover the admission to the building?
And I don't know. There's no comments.
There's no information.
There's nothing here.
Yeah, there's something else going on.
The more I see about this, the more I think it's simply a couple people that get together and they're trying to make some money.
Yeah.
I think it's as simple as that, and I think they just simply posted something stupid. I think, and didn't realize it. didn't realize the
They
implications.
learning the hard way now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What would happen if they posted it and the response that they would get? So,
Mhm.
yeah.
There's other ways to make money in the paranormal. It's not
easy.
It's not easy, but and a lot of it comes from creating content.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be YouTube. It can be, start a website, get Google Ads, write content. And I mean, I'm not even saying you have to write a book. I mean, it's turning
you
on
can
Google
create
Ads on your website.
T-shirts. You can
You
create
make
T-shirts.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
make
this
T-shirts and anything.
This is interesting, and this brings up a point that I can really expand on. Robert says that would be akin to saying, "Hey, this house is going down in value since we are making this public knowledge." And I can expand on that a little bit because there's a famous house in New York that is the only legally haunted house in the United States. And there was a court case. There was actually 2 court cases with this. And I actually have the Reader's Digest that played a part in this because the owner of the house kind of gave it a reputation for being haunted. It was a part of a walking tour, a haunted walking tour. And the owner of the house had written a story that she had submitted to Reader's Digest, and it was printed. So later on down the line there, they put the house up for sale, and they got a potential buyer, signed a contract, and then it came out that it had a reputation for being haunted. So the buyer didn't care, but the buyer's wife wanted nothing to do with it. So it went to court because now they said that, hey, this had a reputation that wasn't disclosed to us. It's a public reputation, and we want out. We don't want it anymore. The first court case ruled in favor of the seller. It was appealed, and then the buyer won. The buyer won the appeal, and eventually that was it. It was settled, and the buyer was out of the contract because basically it was said that this information was public knowledge in the area and was not disclosed at all. No one knew about it. And because of this reputation, people will be coming there all the time to see it. It was on a tour. Hundreds, if not thousands, if not more, people knew about it, and not the buyer who was out of state coming in to buy the house. So they let out of the contract, and it cost the seller a lot of money.
Yeah,
because of the court fees and stuff. So,
well, and New York has that now, where if anything like that, it has to be disclosed. Yes, it has to be. So,
and New York has it. Pennsylvania doesn't. Like we have it where if you ask, you should tell them, but it's not mandatory. But New York does.
Yeah, New York, you have to. You have to.
So that's a legality that has to be considered with this kind of stuff. When we talk about posting last names of people, now it's out there on social media, and because of this recent post that has gotten attention, more people are paying attention to them. More people are going to know, and then if that family, who we're still not going to name, ever decides to sell their home, it's going to pop up because the internet is forever. It's going to pop up now, and that's something that has to be considered when you're dealing with this stuff and you're making things public.
I agree.
Yep, agreed.
Oh. It's a hot topic. I think the best practice for the community in general, broad strokes, is don't charge.
Yeah. And learn from your mistakes and don't do it again. Learn from your mistakes, grow.
Yeah.
Because if you want to be legitimate, you actually have to fit in to be legitimate. You can't just, to some level, you have to.
I think you got to think. You really
nobody
have to think
thinks
about
anymore,
what you're
Kenny.
doing.
You're the only one that thinks. Sorry,
Dick. Yeah, I know. See, there's a lot of love between me and Ted.
I can tell. The bromance is strong.
We really hate each other, but we're just putting on a facade.
That's it. As soon as we're off air.
Yeah, he's going to be sending me a lot of F-bombs. I know.
Yeah. I mean, you really have to think about what you say we live in a public time. No one
Very
is
public.
private. No one is private. If you, and I've said this is one of the things I point out during my lectures when I talk about solving mysteries. One of the steps that I get into about investigating people is that no matter how private you think you are, you're not. You're not. If you give me 10 minutes and I have your first and last name and an idea where you live, yeah, I can find a whole bunch of shit on you. And that's just in 10 minutes. If you give me a couple days, I got everything. I got records. I got.
Why did I give you my goddamn address?
Shoo! I saw your background check, dude. I know what you've been up to.
Yeah, I know, and it's clean.
But there's shit out there, and you really have to be careful. And when you post things like this, when people post stuff about other people, there's consequences. You know, the articles I write, like I write for Skeptical Inquirer magazine, who is not affiliated with this podcast. Just putting that disclaimer out there. But I write for them. I write a column for them, and I have to be careful. Some of my articles have to go through a legal department because I'm mentioning names and I'm mentioning very serious things associated with people's names. So I'm always mindful, the Jedi mind trick, I'm always mindful of what I'm saying, how I'm saying it, and where I'm putting it. Because there's consequences. It could come back and bite me in the ass.
Yeah. And that's why I say, that's why I've always said, it's like you got to be careful. And that's why, you know, coming from a network point of view, it's like we have to be careful of content. We have to be careful of covering up for, you know, making sure that our asses are covered, period. You know, and you know, it's just one of those things, and that's why I've plugged in here many times. You know, we're not bashing, we're not, you know, it's just we're like where I'm coming from, I'm concerned.
This is interesting. Bob says, I was a realtor. If you do not disclose something in PA and it is discovered, the seller can get into a lot of trouble. Interesting. I mean, that's there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. If they find out something, I mean, it's easy, and we've seen it. There's stories from like Jersey, well, from everyone else outside the country, it's New Jersey, but we still call it Jersey here in PA. Jersey and New York. I think there were other cases. One in Jersey for like an apartment where they were in there, they were locked into a contract, and then they claimed it was haunted and got out of the contract because they they weren't told beforehand. I mean, there was no stories before. But you can say that. You can fucking say that. There was no stories.
So now I know how to get out of a lease.
There you go. You can get out of a lease by saying a place is haunted. Let's see. I'm going to try your name. I forget how to pronounce it. Linnell?
Yep, Linnell.
Linnell. Woohoo! In this field of study, we as investigators and as teams will without a doubt have a time that we will need help from other sources, individuals. So with teams creating a sense of we are the end all and know all demeanor, they are setting themselves up for failure.
In the paranormal field? No.
What?
No.
They experts.
No. Yeah. Linnell, I don't know what your cup you're drinking from. I have no idea, but it ain't what we're drinking from.
We need some of that shit. No, Linnell, I mean, I agree. And I've said it a dozen times before. Like, unfortunately, there's this sense of authority that comes with giving yourself a title. And Alex, we've talked about it before. Ted, I know we've covered this, but you
way before you and I became friends, I was covering this topic.
You can go out once you decide that I'm going to go look at a haunted house. You can call yourself a paranormal investigator. There's nothing saying you can't. There's no qualifications needed. You just do it.
Yep.
There's nothing, and you get this air of authority around you, and you see it at conferences. I see it at conferences all the time. You walk around, and there's like 8-foot tables full of all these little fucking equipment pieces that do nothing. And you see, and I'm not saying this is all of the community. The majority, yes. There are a few that don't. But you see them like with their photographer vests and their bulging pockets of all this equipment, and they're like, "Oh, we know what we're doing." No, most of the time you don't.
I posted that meme that I made, I think I posted it yesterday, basically saying, will we ever prove the existence of ghosts? And what was interesting was the responses I was getting. I was getting YouTube links to like Connect videos and Radio Speak videos saying that that's proof. And I said, well, how is this proof? And then literally one guy said, it's science. And
Oh my goodness.
I'm like,
No.
using equipment does not equal to science, and that's why. But that's why we see the tables full of equipment that literally does nothing, because that gives someone credibility.
Right.
They think it gives them credibility. It's like, well, we're using science. I'm like, okay, well, what kind of science are you doing? And they're like, oh, well, it's fun being a woman in the paranormal field. Sometimes it's, oh, you wouldn't understand. And I'm like, oh, good. Great. We're going to go there. Okay, let's go there. And then that's when I start hitting the hard questions, and they can't answer it. So
I'm an ass. I just look at it and I say, you know, my opinion of this is it's about money, and that's it. I mean, it's not.
I think sometimes you can equate it to like if someone picks up a box wrench and says, "Hey, I'm an auto mechanic," and they've never ever worked on a car before in their life. And that's what it comes down to. That's I think that expands on your point, Alex. It's if you pick up a fucking like, oh wait, I don't know. Oh, here it is. You pick up one of these things, you're like, oh look, I'm a paranormal investigator. I'm using science. No, jackass, you're not. You're not using science. You're using a tool that scientists or others practicing science could use, but you're just using a tool. Just like if I pick up a box wrench or if I pick up, a screwdriver and say that I work on aircraft, it's not, you can pretend all you want, but just because you have something doesn't mean you're doing science. Oh, that's a pet peeve, doing science. Like, all right.
And the other difference with that is that being an auto mechanic or an airplane mechanic, you really do have to go get licensed.
Actually, I'm certified in both.
I'm just saying, you do get certifications for that, knowing what you're doing. So there is a difference there.
Yeah. I can attest to both. I actually have a degree in automotive and diesel repair, and I have certifications out my ass of working on aircraft because I did both.
Wow.
And you have to.
Nice.
I also have top secret clearance. Because of the field that I was in, which is really cool. I love being able to say that because I can say that because I actually do have it.
I love it because I have an envelope and a wallet with no certifications except one. I'm a licensed and certified medic.
Oh,
that's it.
I don't have it anymore. My certification expired, but I was an EMT for 7 years.
Yeah.
But these are certifications that we get. You go to school, you go to training, you get academic training in these areas, practical training, and you get certified by a legitimate board, a legitimate educational foundation, whether it's the government that licenses you or an institution that has been approved, accredited. Oh my God, there's a word, accredited.
Yeah. And there's just so much out there. I mean, in the paranormal community, as a whole, there are masses that believe you can be accredited by this, but because simply you go on the internet and oh, that's nice.
You go on the internet and you can spend 5 hours while you're drinking and getting fucked up.
Yeah, but this was my point. You could go on the internet and you can search, believe it or not, being a paranormal investigator or a parapsychologist, and you can get one, but is it accredited? Is it something that, I don't know. I mean, anybody can do it, but it doesn't mean that you really are. Because I don't know.
Oh, so Kat says if the seller in PA know of a known defect, they must disclose it. If it would have a monetary impact on the sale of the home, then the seller could be held accountable as long as they are aware of the issue. Yes, thank you, Kat.
Well, there you go, because that covers it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it really goes back to being careful with what you say publicly. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
And I'm guilty of saying shit, so I gotta leave now.
Oh my god.
But honestly, Kenny, I mean, I brought this up to you because I really just I felt bad for these people, because I really do understand. And should they be held accountable for what they posted? Somebody should say something to them, and they should have their chance to say what they have to say,
and
whatever. But I just really want them to get the knowledge. I want somebody to reach out and say, hey, this is why you're getting all this shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. I don't wish them any ill will with what they're trying to do. I don't, with any of that stuff. I think that if they have the passion, if they really want to do this, then find the outlets and the support, and kind of follow just the known standards that are already out there. I mean,
what known standards?
Well, known standards that we all have, and Alex will tell you, there's you don't charge. That's
Okay.
a known standard.
So the guidelines.
Oh yeah, the guidelines.
Not
The
But still,
guidelines.
but guidelines. Okay, so guidelines, standards, whatever. But yeah, but there's stuff out there that's already
Come on,
out there.
Ted,
That
you're talking to me.
yeah, I know. I'm a fucking idiot when I talk.
This is
to you.
my show.
Well, speaking of that, I gotta go.
Oh, no, you don't. No, you don't. You got time. Your show doesn't start for like 45 minutes, bitch.
Yeah, you're gonna get me for the latest, maybe 15 minutes though.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
I still gotta send stuff to my guests to get on my show.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, so
And Alex, it's nice to meet you. I don't even know who you are, but nice to meet you.
I think
nice to meet you too.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Alex sent me the message or the screen capture of the same thing you did, Ted, like a couple minutes later, and we were talking, and it's
wow.
I wanted to get like the you had mentioned, Ted, that why don't you reach out to this group and get them on, and then we had a discussion about that, like why I'm not going to do it, and then when Alex brought it up, I was like, oh well, this will be nice, if we have two. You guys are more into the paranormal community, I guess, more on that side than I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely more on the skeptic side, but I wanted to get your opinions too, because
I ride the middle, bitch.
You're whatever. Alex is, I think, in the middle too. I think Alex is definitely.
High five, Alex. High five.
Yeah.
High five, Alex.
But I thought it'd be nice to have different. Besides, every time I ask for people to come on to ask questions, nobody does. I think they're afraid of me.
I'm not.
I don't know. But you know what? I appreciate you guys coming on and talking about this. If you want to give each of you, like final words overall for this topic, and then plug whatever shit you got coming up, go ahead. Alex, I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, plugging myself in? Okay.
Overall, first, like sum it up, your overall thoughts about this topic, and then you can plug it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, after this discussion, and initially I'll admit when I saw the post, I was like, how dare they? This is terrible, but they probably don't know it's terrible. And unfortunately, they're going to learn a really hard lesson from this. I hope they learn from it, and I hope they grow from it. And this is why we network. This is why we reach out to other people in the paranormal. If there's something that we don't know, you ask someone to say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Do you think this is kosher? And do you think this is okay? And I'll usually reach out to people. I mean, I've reached out to Kenny a couple times on things, and I'll reach out to other people that I really respect. And this is how you learn. This is how you learn what to do. And this is not really, like Ted said, this is not really a community where you can sit in the corner. It's a do your own thing and keep in your own sandbox. I mean, it's one big sandbox that we're all playing in. Yeah, you gotta be somewhat interactive, especially if you do want to grow and you do want to have opportunities like a TV show. And I'm speaking from experience on that. I'm speaking from experience on that. You do network, and especially if you do want to make, there are ways to make money in this field. It's just not charging for investigations. It's really not. So, yeah.
Good. What do you got coming up?
Let's see. I'm part of Com Carolinas.
Seriously, Ted? Seriously? Yeah, look around. Look around, bitch. Look around in embarrassment. Look around. Sorry, Alex. Go
Oh, you're
ahead.
good. You're good. I'm doing the Con Carolinas online con. We were supposed to do it last weekend of May, but we're doing it all online. We pre-recorded our panels, and I just got done with a panel with Butch Patrick, who played Eddie Munster in The Munsters, talking about his haunted life and growing up in a haunted house and stuff, which was cool. I have a couple books out on Amazon. If you just type in my name at Amazon, you'll find it. I have a YouTube channel where I do videos talking about different spooky things, and I'm on Instagram and Facebook. Find me, send me a message, love me, hate me, I'll take both.
Well, Alex, if we're not friends, we're going to be. I'll send you a friend request.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be cool.
Ted, she would be a great guest to have on and talk for a little bit. Ted does a show pretty much every freaking day of the week.
After this weekend, no.
Oh,
after this weekend, we're going to Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
There you go. So before you start plugging shit, what are your final thoughts on this whole topic overall?
Well, the first thing I got to say is, Kenny, your hair is different today than yesterday.
Yeah, it's not blue.
Yeah, it's not blue. I think overall, I agree with everything Alex said, because it was pretty much the same all the way straight through this show. It's just, if you need help, if you need, someone to give you some advice, call me. I'll be there. I'll help you out what I can. But, you pretty much have to understand that in the community that you're putting yourself into, you have to expect a little bit of biting on the ass, because it's going to happen, especially when you post certain things that others don't agree with. And there are tons of people out there that will work with you. You just have to ask. You just have to search for them a little bit. But I feel for them. I mean, to be honest with you, I really do, because they're going to get a lot more hate coming their way. They really are. Mm-hmm. And it's sad, because being a young team, and I'm going to assume they're a young team, at least 2 years old or 3 years old. So,
I mean, is that young? What's the standard? Like 3 years?
I don't think there is. I mean, because I know teams that kind of form from other teams, and they come from different areas, but most of them have 10 years experience. That's like the average right now for most teams, between 5 and 10 years. So, I'm just saying, for me, it's a young team. Okay, for me, it's a young team, and there are plenty of people that have been around a lot longer than I have, that you can certainly reach out to. And if they don't respond to you, then keep searching, because there are some like myself that will reach out and give you any advice that we can. You have to you got to play in the same sandbox, man. You can't just create your own, because you really need to have those outlets. You really need to have somebody you can bring in to say, hey, I don't know it all. I need some help.
Right.
And just because you have a business license, I got one too, but it doesn't say, my name and a professional paranormal investigator, because there are none. I'm a professional bullshitter maybe, but
So I'll
that's it pretty much.
Okay, so I'll wrap it up, because it's my show. I get to go last. I think this has been a cool show. It's been a really good discussion. We did have an emotional start. I think everyone was like charged up and ready to talk about this. And then we gradually thought about it and really thought out both sides, or even three sides, like what we really thought, like, as, this is wrong, fuck this. And then we thought, okay, what's on the other side? And then we looked in the middle.
Yeah.
So, and I think we came to the conclusion, I think we all came to the conclusion that they probably just said something stupid. And it's a mistake. And people do that. I've seen it dozens of times before. I've done it dozens of times myself, and I'm sure you guys have done it.
Never.
I'm going to assume. Oh, yeah, Ted, all the time, like every night when you invite me onto your show. That's a mistake.
Well, I'm going to hit up Alex now.
So
she can thank you in the long run.
I think the bottom line is think about what you're doing. Think about what you're going to say when you type something that's going to go out to the entire world. Think about it. Reread it. Look for opinions. Ask. Both of you guys have touched on it, where you reach out to other people. I'm constantly doing that. Constantly, every time I do an article or start researching something, I'm always asking other people that know a hell of a lot more than I do. Like, is this a good idea? Am I going in the right direction? What should I change? What should I edit? I mean, just the articles that I do for the magazine, I know it goes through at least two editors and then a manager. So I have 3 people looking at my stuff and critiquing it and telling me what I'm doing wrong or what I should change or what I should maybe not be so, in your face when I'm like, this guy's a fucking asshole. They're like, you shouldn't say that.
Right.
And I agree most of the time. But think about what you're doing before you do it. That's it. Learn. Get a second opinion, get a third opinion, and then do it. And this is a stepping stone. I mean, if this is just a dumb mistake, like a rookie mistake, so be it. Learn from it.
Right.
Yep.
Learn from it. Take the shit that's coming your way because,
it's coming.
You deserve it. You deserve it. You did the deed. So you're going to get the repercussions that come with it. So take it and learn from it. And then move on, because if you keep going, you're going to learn from your mistakes. You're going to be better in the future.
Yep.
That's it. And I mean, thank you both for coming on and discussing this with me, because otherwise it would have been just like an hour and a half of me just bitching. And when I have guests, it's also good in moderation because I'm like, oh, I can still see the button that says end broadcast. That's always it's not blurry, like I don't wind up like Wontom, who keeps broadcasting live for hours after he's done. Anyway, that's another story. But thank you guys. Thanks to everyone that joined us tonight. We had a lot of people come on. A lot of questions, a lot of discussion in the chat room, which is nice to see. I like that it's not always just questions for us or me. It's people interacting and having conversations, being nice to each other, not fighting, but being nice and having a discussion. That's really good to see. So with that said, I'm going to let you guys go, and then I'm going to wrap up my part of it, but because I don't have too much. But again, thank you guys for coming on and giving your opinions. I appreciate it. And
thank you.
Love you guys, and be safe. And I'll look. Oh, there's the part. Oh, I'm gonna take a screen cap of that.
My heart's got an issue. I don't know what it is, but
You're
got
all
an issue.
Backwards and shit.
It's pumping.
Oh my goodness. He's
all
always
right.
got to bring.
Well,
that.
Thanks, and Alex, it was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too, Ted.
All right, guys, take it easy. Actually, I'm gonna close your screens, but don't go away, and I'm gonna do my ending thing, and then we'll chat a little bit if that's okay. Good.
Sure.
Shut up, Ted. Just do as I say. Boom. I'm gonna mute you too. There, so you can't talk. So, thank you guys. Thank you for joining me tonight. It's Friday night. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the show. Get different opinions. We had a great discussion. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for all the comments. Everyone that joined us, we had a lot of numbers. I actually keep track of the numbers, and I see that it's growing. It's staying up in higher numbers, which is great. I'm glad everyone enjoys it. And for me, coming up, I don't have too much coming up because, unfortunately, every freaking event that I had scheduled canceled. So I have nothing coming up. We'll have to wait until the pandemic is over and then maybe start scheduling stuff. But I will be out there. I will be adventuring. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel, the WLFE-DB. Make sure you follow it because I'll be broadcasting on this every week. And also on my own page, I am Kenny Biddle on Facebook. Please follow that. If you're into adventures and just exploring new things, I do a YouTube channel with my wife called K&D Adventures. Kenny and Donna. If you go on YouTube, please subscribe to that. We're trying to get up to 100 members, 100 subscribers, and it's just us going out and taking you along with us on our adventures, exploring this world that we live in. And one last thing, Saturday nights, I also do another podcast called Three Tortured Souls. It is with Dave Schumacher and Tim Vickers. We have a casual conversation, definitely more scientific, more in detail, more in depth, but we also drink. So it's fun. Check that out. It's tomorrow, Saturday, usually about 8 o'clock Eastern time. And with that, I am going to play my outro and then close it for tonight. Stay safe. Love you guys. And never stop learning.